out there to all you lovely marketing people. This is Mike Doyle, and welcome to the Drive80.com unnamed podcast, where the point of this show is to answer the question, how do you market your video or videos? In this episode, we talked to Curtis Gilbreth from Who Knows a Guy. Currently, they're helping coaches or health coaches with building a brand, creating their website, creating sales pages, launching marketing funnels, and growing their business, but they're moving over to kind of a broader vertical. Well, at the moment, they are focusing strictly on health coaches, doing so well there that they've opened up, like I said, to pretty much anybody to see where the next vertical lies. I met Curtis a few years back in the AppSumo monthly 1K Facebook group. We would kind of banter back and forth, and he reached out one day and was like, hey man, I want an animation for my company. I gave him some prices, and he was like, yeah, that's really expensive, so we can't do that. So we basically just became friends. Curtis is an expert in SEO, but currently his focus is on helping his clients stand out on Facebook, which we talk about this entire episode. We solely focus on Facebook, talk about organic traffic, talk about ads. Really good episode. He's really knowledgeable. Some of the topics we touch on in that space are how we helped a client go from 3 to 4 leads a week to 3 to 5 a day, creating an avatar for your prospects so you can get your ads directly in front of the right people, why your marketing strategy should be like dating. This is pretty funny. And if you jump into this episode at like any point where we're talking about the dating, it might sound a little weird or creepy, but it'll make sense if you're listening to the full thing. We also discuss 3 things that go into using Facebook Live and a ton more. Before we begin, please subscribe to the podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave comments, throw some likes on the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with some friends, ask any questions, and so forth. And even though we don't have any sponsors, I'd like to give a shout out to sendlift.com. It's run by a buddy of mine, Nick Berry. With Sendlift, their basic strategy is keeping you from going to the store and buying cards, getting a roll of stamps from the post office, and then finding a couple hours to block out so you can sit down and write letters to clients or even a cold list or prospects you're going after who kind of know you. What they do is they will do it for you. So you just upload a spreadsheet, press enter, and they say bingo, bango, handwritten cards and notes are sent to these people for you. So check it out, sendlift.com. Support Nick Berry. He is an awesome dude. And one last thing is that I understand the quality of the recordings I have are a little I'm working on it, figuring this out as I go. Obviously, this recording of me speaking is a lot better because I'm using a better microphone. So I do apologize if the quality is kind of crap, but whatever. The content is worth it. So yeah, let's begin. Curtis, you are on, my friend.
My man. It's going good. Thanks for having me on the podcast, brother. I'm excited to be number 5. Number 5 is like a good number. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not the first one. Kind of got the kinks out. I love the unnamed podcast. I think that's awesome because sometimes you just got to get stuff done and worry about things later. If you, it's all about being in action. So I'm the owner of Who Knows a Guy. We're a digital marketing agency and platform. Started in this game a long time ago doing SEO about 8 or 9 years ago. Built that brand, got really excited, loved that. But then all of a sudden it was like, man, I do not like SEO anymore. Not because I wasn't good at it, just because it was daunting. And it was like one of those things where you're just like, I gotta go to work today. And so we changed the script and now we help fitness coaches generate leads online and different entrepreneurs, by showing them, by teaching. If you can out-teach your competition, you'll win. And I think this is a perfect podcast to listen to because Mike knows his stuff about video. And, so just to kind of let you know who I am and why I'm excited to be on this podcast is I love video. I think video is the way to go. It's the future. And it's actually the most cost-effective, Mike. I don't know if you've talked about cost-effectiveness in marketing.
Have not. We have. I don't believe we have.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you're a small company or you're a brand new entrepreneur, maybe you're even a entrepreneur, you're trying to figure out whether or not you want to do this thing called the entrepreneur madness or the grind, as some of us like to say it is. Video is the easiest way to get your messaging out, and it is the most cost-effective way. So, Mike, one of the things that I do is I use video a lot, not only organically, but with ads. And so, which one do you want me to touch base first with? You want me to talk about ads, or do you want me to talk about, organic stuff?
I'd say let's dive into an actual strategy with Facebook ads first, because I want to see when people are actually putting money behind something, what they can do, and then some things you've seen with your clients that they've gotten like this has happened because of this.
Okay, so I can tell you one of my clients, he went to what I like to call the Facebook gurus, meaning the guys that put out the course that they sell their courses for 1,500 bucks, and then you go learn how to build your like page, as I like to say. And he had like 50,000 people doing, liking his page. So 50,000 people liked his page by doing this course.
Wow.
However, none of that transferred over into dollars. And when I put a video ad strategy for him together on Facebook, we weren't even targeting his 50,000 followers. We were targeting his cold audience, people that have never heard him before. And we did it in two different stages where we took just an intro video of who he is, tips, topics, different things that have to do with his industry and what his opinion is in video. And we didn't do a call to action. It's more of someone watching the video and getting to know him. So instead of, I always love Gary Vee, and Ryan Dice. They always talk about stop trying to date your prospects like a 19-year-old dude. And a lot of people do Facebook ads that way. They immediately send them to a call to action and try to get them to buy. And we went with a different mentality of just doing a video that introduces the brand, introduces that brand, and it just happens to be a solo entrepreneur, to the business. And then afterwards, in 2 days, they get another call to action video that is retargeting that client, that prospect that watched that video to an actual action. But we don't just stop there. Every week we've now put out another video, another video, and another video. And we're talking, you got to think, he went to this Facebook ads guru that said, hey, build your Facebook like page. And he got 50,000 likes that are actually real people, not paid for, but in his demographic, getting very little traction. We went from getting 0 leads to getting about 3 to 4 a week to now 3 to 5 a day.
Holy crap.
And his cost per video view is 0.001.
A bunch of layers there. All right, first thing was you put out the content, right? So you got a video. You said, what's his name? Can you say his name, or should we call him like Bob?
I can't say his name.
All right, so Bob.
Just as I'm going to send this podcast out to clients.
Okay.
I don't want.
All right, so
I don't have his.
So let's forget about it. We'll call him client. So client came to you, and you're like, all right, man, let's get some relevant value to people and just throw it out there. So you said you went to Facebook, you created an ad. It was he videotaped a video of himself in whatever platform he did it with, like a phone or whatever.
With an iPhone.
With an iPhone. He uploaded it. He went through all the settings. Now, the first audience you went after, how did you do it?
Well, we really got into his avatar. So we mapped out his avatar, and we really just set, like, these are the people we're talking to before he even shot the video, because he can help a lot of people. So we figured out his avatar. So we went after veterans and police officers that are retired.
Interesting.
Because as soon as you get out of the force, or you're no longer having to show up every day fit to work, you kind of sledge out, and he's a fitness guy, right?
Okay.
So he would just talk about that. Plus, he's a veteran himself, and he's a former SWAT police officer as well.
Okay, so that was the audience he wanted to go after, and he's like, let's just draw that picture. So I love how you said we can talk to them directly, because I think that people forget that, because they're talking to a broad aspect. But when you know your audience, you're speaking to them like targeted, like rifle approach right at them. They can relate, they get it, and you're answering their questions.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
All right, so you created their avatar. Then you went through all the Facebook like audience settings, and you're like, let's do law enforcement. Let's do this. Let's do a radius around where you are, or let's not do a radius. Let's just throw it out there to the U.S., but we're targeting I'm guessing maybe, I mean, obviously there's females in law force, but maybe you said just guys 50 to 60 or, or 60 to 70.
Yeah, we did just guys 35 to 60.
Okay. So you got that down. You're like, let's just do this and throw it out there. So you start to see that Facebook starts telling you in their demographics who's opening or who's watching.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you get that. And so then that's the first one. Now, and there's a lot more we can get involved with, but like, again, short amount of time, so I don't want to get too crazy with it. But maybe that'll be like, I'll have you on another time. So then you do the retarget. Now, the retargeting I find interesting because like I'll go to do a retarget and I'll choose 30 days. People have been to my website and let's say I'll do 90 days. Now, it'll say there's a bunch, but when I create that audience, that little, what is that? The
ticker, the broad audience. Yeah, the odometer.
The odometer. Like, it'll be in the red and say your audience is too small for retargeting. And then I presented this to you a while ago, but you were like, no, dude, you could still do an ad. And I think people might get caught up in that. They're like, shoot, I can't do this now because it's in the red. But like, what is your thoughts on that? Like, how do you?
So that's the only way I live now in Facebook world. Is the only thing I want to do is I want to introduce my brand to you several times, and then I want to send you to a call to action. And most people are sending you straight to a call to action, meaning straight to a sales page, a funnel, an opt-in of something. I want to warm you up.
Yeah.
I want to be romantic with you. I want to have romance. I'm acting like a 30-year-old trying to swoon you, trying to open the door.
Okay.
I'm pulling out the seat. I'm making sure we're going to a nice restaurant before I go in for the close. And most people on Facebook, they're a 19-year-old dude at a party trying to just burn through people. If I get a bunch of no's, someone will eventually tell me yes. And then you wonder why you don't have the quality of client that you want.
Right.
Well, the quality of client that most of us want, those people are being targeted day in and day out. So you have to, it's just like the dating scene. You have to romanticize them. You have to intrigue them. Having a freemium or an opt-in these days isn't enough to romanticize them. And so what I do is I create audiences in the Power Editor based on video views. And then so I have certain video views or certain videos with not only my own business, but clients that we set up that are just introduction or romance videos, meaning being romantic with them, and then asking, hey, let's go out on a date and a different ad. So when you do just romance videos, you can actually take you can target anybody that's watched those videos with a call to action ad, which is basically saying, hey, let's go out on a date. Let's see if we can work together. And that's the biggest performance buster, with anything. I can take anybody that's doing a standard Facebook ad, do this video play, and win time and time again. And even, go ahead.
No, okay. So in that though, okay, so that audience now lives in that red zone. Like they are super specific. Even though Facebook says your audience is too small to create an ad, is that Facebook's way of just saying, well, you could still create an ad, but we're really not going to make that much money on it, so we really want you to broaden that?
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to that monitor just because as long as I'm not too broad, I don't want to go after everyone. Yeah. But Facebook wants me to go after everyone.
Okay.
So Facebook is always going to tell you in their best interest. They're looking out for them.
Okay.
And that's where you got to look out for you at the end of the day.
And so in that red audience, it'll say like, yeah, there's not enough people. But the positive thing is if you're actually going to market them, you're like, no, but that's the actual audience who is going to eventually buy this because they are paying attention. And that's saying that, yeah, you've showed it to like, let's say 10,000 people, but maybe 1,000, maybe a couple hundred, whatever it is. They actually watched your video past a certain point, so we're going to target them directly because it's telling you these guys are really interested. So when you're retargeting it, the next ad you're doing is you're saying, all right, we are going to go after that audience who lives in that world. So on the first 100%. First ad, you're collecting that data. So, but if they're just watching that view, so you're going to base it off of, all right, Facebook's going to say who you're targeting and say, all right, this is ad number 2. We want to look at ad number 1's video views and anyone who got past this certain part, we want to just target them, and that's who we're retargeting right now.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Okay.
And if you think about it over time, it's the compound effect. Your first set of video retargeting is not going to be as good as your third or fifth or 12th month. My one client that we're talking about here has over, I don't know, 10 million views on one video that we've just constantly ran. It's basically our introduction video, our first touch. And if you think about it, like everyone talks about marketing automation now, Facebook ads and retargeting is the marketing automation of the future. So you want to get people to get introduced to your brand and then retarget them from there. And so now, I mean, if you think about it, most people are getting about 3 cents a video view to a penny a video view. Right? We're getting 0.001 because that video has been seen by so many times and it's been seen by so much. So if you think about that, that's not even a penny. That's a tenth of a penny. So now we're fractions. This is the most cost-effective stuff that you've ever been able to do in any type of marketing ever before.
So I've been talking to some clients now, and they're telling me, they're like, yeah, we're going through Facebook, and we're actually spending $5 a click, and they go, and that's been really good. And I'm like, I get lost because I've been told that it's like, that's way too much money, but doesn't it depend? Like, so I'm sitting there like, I don't know enough to give you guys advice on this, so I don't really know what to tell you.
The views is, see, that's where like people get in like the PPC, pay-per-click mode.
Yeah.
I would rather have video views over and over and over again and warm people up because that's going to shorten my sales cycle as well. The more people know you and they feel like they've known you because they've watched different videos or they've seen different stuff that you've done, the lower the sales cycle is. Now, it's all based on the content that you provide. Right. So, if your content's crap, yeah, you're not going to have as much success. But $5 a click is insane just for an average ad that's not even doing video. I would want it down in like the $1 to 80 cents a click, even lower, like 10 to 50 cents a click to be straight about it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of how we're using videos, and a lot of my clients, we've worked on a couple projects together. I teach them to use the animation video as the introduction.
Okay.
The first touch.
So let's say that, all right, so you're doing like the first set of 5 videos, let's say it is, you're getting views. And then you go in for like, the jab, 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 right hook. The right hook is, now it's a video of like, whatever it is. Okay, now, hey, by the way, if all these past videos sound great or whatever it is, click at the end of this video and learn more. And then it's like, then you're really taking them and saying like, all right, I've bumped into you enough in the hallway in high school. I made you laugh a few times. You've like brushed my arm here and there, showing that you're like interested. Do you want to go to dinner? Let me know.
Yeah.
So in that ad, you're basically like, what would that ad look like? What would that video say? And where would the call to action live? Would it live in the description? Would it live in the controls on the video player? Like, how do you set that up?
So that's I touch base on 2 things that you said there. You want to already assume anytime you're doing retargeting that they've already seen the ads. You want to assume that they've already love who you are.
Okay.
You already want to create that like bravado or that confidence that, hey, you've already seen me. You already know who I am. This isn't a cold video. And then you get right into what you're offering, what your offer is, and then you put limitations on it. I think that's the biggest thing on Facebook. Like, no one limits how many people. It's like, oh, we want everyone. No, you really don't. Because really there's a threshold of how many clients you can handle in a month. Unless you're just a beast organization, that's different.
Yeah.
But really, you want quality over quantity because that can that's just better business, right? So, I always I use a bit.ly link and I always put it above the video and I always say click here and then the bit.ly link, but I put some sort of description. I like using questions in my ads, meaning like, are you stuck? Do you feel frustrated? But like, that's a very general question. I really like target it to the audience. Like, if we were to target veterans, like, would the question be, are you, do you have, postpartum, like, I don't know the exact language, but we would target some sort of question that relates to them, something that they're
like
feeling.
a deep down question, like not just the top level, like, are you out of shape? Like, are you a couple years out of the force and feel like you're losing your edge?
Exactly. Yeah. That's perfect.
Okay.
And then that gets them to go, wait, this guy's actually talking to me. I feel that way. Because you're leading them to when you ask a question in an ad, they are actually answering it in their head.
Yeah.
And so they're reading it and they're going, oh, yeah, that is me. Now you've already created an instant bond. Now you can get them to create a call to action. And then, of course, the landing page is where you have to win them. Whatever offer and whatever social proof you can prove that your product will help them, that's where you win, And so that's why it's so important to date and romanticize on Facebook, because even in 2017, Facebook ads are getting more competitive, and they're just going to get more and more as people learn about this. And this is whether you're doing Facebook ads or YouTube ads or Google ads, whatever you're out to do, or Instagram ads, it's all about romanticizing the relationship in the beginning.
Can you, and I don't know if I know from us knowing each other, like, Facebook is where you guys live and you guys do a lot. Like, you get on, you like your personal account, you do like a lot of, like, you'll ask questions of people, you'll post positive stuff, you'll do Facebook Live. Do you dip into YouTube at all?
I'm not at this point during this podcast being recorded, but one of my clients created a $500,000 business just off of YouTube.
Really?
Doing videos. Yeah, I will definitely get him on this show and have him speak about that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
And he's thrived. He's thriving on YouTube.
That's crazy.
But it all comes down to romanticizing, giving away value at the end of the day.
So let's say that now I want to talk about the organic part of it on Facebook, unless you were kind of mixed that in with what you said, because you said the beginning of the ads, you hit them and you're like just having a conversation. So I don't know if that's what you meant by organic, or if you meant like just putting it on your page and then having it be a very good content where people are sharing it with their friends on their own and you're not putting any money behind it.
Yeah, that's the latter there. I do go live a lot.
Yeah.
I not only on my personal page, but I have several support groups helping out customers. That's not only, there's three things that go into Facebook Live. It's keeping up with customer service. It's also getting customers back. I've actually had customers that have canceled, that tried other products, and then they've come back after they've seen my lives, after I've had conversations. And then also referrals. I make my public page, or my personal profile page, public, so my stuff can get shared. And I'm very surprised how often people share my page and how many people follow me that I've never talked to because I've made it public, and I'm always giving away free content. But I think the one thing with Facebook Lives is to be vulnerable and not salesy.
Yeah.
and get related at a level that someone feels you get them.
Yeah, I think that really quick, there was something I posted a while ago, a couple months ago on my personal page. It was something I just wanted people to share. And I ran into that where people were like, hey, man, you got to make it public because no one's seeing this. And I didn't realize that. So I think that's a good tip there is, I think if people are listening to this and they are marketing directors, there potentially is a separation from marketing your own company and someone else's. However, if you are if you are really into your brand and your company, you are sharing it on your page, and it is something that could impact people, definitely make sure you are public if you do want that to get out. And I think you can actually just make that post itself public. All right, I just want to just kind of throw that in there because I thought that was a really good point.
No, that's a great point. That's a great topic. Mike, just to leave your audience with one more thing, I think you have to understand the game plan that you're trying to accomplish, because if you just go out and do a video randomly or because you think it looks good on a Tuesday, you're going to fail. But if you come in with, okay, here's how we're going to strategize and plan, then here's how we're going to I bring it back to dating, right? A 19-year-old kind of wings it, takes a girl to a movie. A 30-year-old that's dating has it planned. He's going to pick her up. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. He has where they're going to go afterwards. And all of that's set up. Once the foundation's set up, it's super successful. And I'll give you one more example. I had 2 people do an Instagram post with video. And one girl got 260 leads. The other girl got 140. Who do you think did better?
I think the 140 because they were more targeted.
No, not because they were more targeted.
Or they were more...
Because she had a system in place.
Ah.
The other girl didn't have a system in place, got 0 phone numbers, 0 emails, and wasn't able to follow up.
So talk about that. So, okay, so 2 of them did that, and they got leads. Now, the leads meant that they had a link in their bio and said at the end of the video, click there, and it generated that many people to a landing page? Or, like, what was being...
One girl said, comment your email if you're interested, and the other girl sent them to a landing page to fill out.
Okay.
And that was the biggest difference.
So the biggest difference was the fact that the people who took the action and went to the landing page, they were more like, I want to get this now. I want to get it done. The other one was like, well, send me some more information just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the biggest difference, is because getting someone's email and phone number, it's not about you getting that information. It's about that prospect being like, yes, I want this enough that I'm willing to give you my information. And I think that's what so many people miss when they're doing marketing. They think, well, I need this information to do business. And really it's, no, your prospects have given you permission to call them.
Right. So wait, now I'm confused. So wait a minute. The ones who went to the landing page, when they got to the landing page, they put in their email there?
No, they put in their email and phone number there. With Instagram, the one girl was just saying, comment your email below if you're interested.
But isn't that kind of the same thing, though? Of like, if they were putting their emails in the comments, like, don't they want it the same way?
No, there's a difference between going to a form, reading more about the information, and actually filling it out.
I gotcha. Okay.
Than just saying, oh, yeah, I'll put my email down. Email me whenever. Email me that stuff. I'll take a look at it.
Have you
compared to someone taking an actual action?
Have you found that people, when they are using video on Instagram and they're saying, like, comment with a friend's name below, this was relevant, like, have you seen people do well on Instagram with getting, people to spend money for their service?
I've seen tons, and there's so many strategies to Instagram, and there's so many different experts. There's a whole different beast to that motto, and I would love to get someone on your show that I know that could teach you some stuff about that. That's not really my forte. I'm more in the Facebook world.
That's fine, man. No, I appreciate the honesty.
But yeah.
No,
it's
man.
Huge.
Yeah, dude. Awesome stuff, man. I think some really good takeaways from this, if you've listened so far, which is probably a lot to ask. But
no, man, I love that you're doing this, and I'll share it with my whole community, and I'll keep sharing it. And Mike, you've helped me understand video just as much, and especially how to put a video together that makes marketing effective. And I think that's where the difference between you and what you're trying to teach here is not just like, oh, you put a video together and it should work. No, there's actually a method to the madness inside the video.
Yeah, I've been talking to clients lately and saying, there's so much strategy involved in just writing a script. Like, the script has to start with who you're talking to. Like, right when you said the avatar, that is really the number one point, is what do they look like and what pain are you solving for them? Think about your own buying habits. People, I love, they're like, oh, I'm being tricked. If I'm online and I see other crap that I'm not interested in, I'm like, I see what you're doing and I get it, but I don't want it. But if it's related to me, I am sucked in so fast to go and buy that shit. It's unbelievable. And I watch myself do it. I'm like, holy crap, this guy got me here, they got me here, and now they have my credit card information. I just ordered that process because it spoke to me so perfectly that they knew who I was. They knew I'd buy that.
100%, 110%. Ryan Dice is the killer of that.
Yeah.
Actually, I just sent my business partner, Jeremy, an email because he had me click on an email that was a survey that asked me to do what he thought, and it brought me to this other page and just said, thank you. And then later that day, I got an ad with video from Ryan Dice saying, hey, come do this. And it was what I clicked on in the email. And I'm like, and of course I send it to Jeremy. I'm like, I have to buy it because this dude answered all my pain points. And it's like $1,500.
Yeah, and even if you know what's happening to you, you don't care.
I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. They think, well, if I come up with a salesy script and I do, and I put all this presentation together. No, it's what you're saying to the audience and how narrow you get it to be is how you win these days.
Yeah.
Consumers are smarter than ever. I mean, I half the time I don't even research stuff. I'm just like, hey, Siri or Siri, Google this.
Yeah.
Siri just went off because I said that. See, right there.
So awesome, dude.
there goes Siri going off. So anyways,
it's like Ryan Dice. Here you are.
Exactly. So thanks, Mike, for having me on, dude. I think this podcast is gonna rocket, keep going, and I'm excited. Have me back on. And my best advice, just to wrap it up in a nutshell, is romanticize your prospects. Don't try to be a 19-year-old dude on a date.
I love that, dude. And real quick, just plug whatever you. Just give you a couple seconds. Plug whatever you got going on. Anything that's like right in front of people that you really want them to know about.
Who Knows a Guy is officially launching. We've had like off branches like Who Knows a Guy Fitness and Who Knows a Guy Wellness. We're actually launching whoknowsaguy.com. It's $49. You get lead pages, website. We handle it for you, meaning if you need something changed, we do it. And then it also has a webinar platform, membership, and courses, all for $49. So whoknowsaguy.com. We'll set it up for you. We'll make it look pretty and awesome, and yeah.
Is there anyone specifically you want to talk to, or is it just broad now? You can't tell me that if you tell me an avatar, dude.
I know, right? At this point, we're pretty with all our niches. We're pretty in groove and set. So we're kind of branching out more into like everyone now because our niches are doing so well. We can go after everyone.
So you're keeping all the niches down, and you're like, all right, cool. We're going to keep this in play. Now we're going to kind of go out there and see who else is going to bite, because then that's going to create this new vertical that we are going to help solve a problem for.
Yeah, and real quick, if you have a vertical, meaning you have a huge audience of people, like maybe it's home inspectors or real estate agents or painting, like we have a whole platform that we can just plug you into, and then you can run with it. So that's the cool thing about our platform. It's really robust. So until you see it, you won't really realize it. But once you go to it, you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is where has this been all my life? And that's our biggest struggle right now, is to branching out into different niches.
All right, that is the show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you said, yes, Mike, I certainly did, then please message any of your marketing friends and tell them what cool tips you learned that could possibly benefit their lives and make them want to listen to this podcast. Also, check out drive80.com if you are struggling to explain what your company does. We accomplish this in a minute or so with animation. If you have any questions, please send me an email at mike@drive80.com. I'd love to hear some feedback. Tell me what you like. Tell me the things I could fix to really just make these episodes better, really give you guys a lot of value, because, again, that is the point. I really want to be very focused on this, so you're listening to it. Every time you hear it, there's something new, and you could take an action with it right there and grow your business or grow your clients' businesses, which will then help you grow your business because they'll want to pay you more. Again, Mike Doyle, drive80.com. Go in peace.